Do you want to become mentally stronger? If so, I invite you to come and join us at the Mental Strength School, the world's leading mental strength training platform. The school is your one-stop shop to get a cutting-edge, evidence-based and comprehensive mental strength training all year round. It's going to give you the tools, the insights and the techniques that you need to rise to your challenges, feel happier, unlock your potential, and ultimately be the best version of yourself. Check out all the details in the show notes or on my website at mellyobrien.com/mental strength school. Welcome to the Mentally Stronger podcast, the podcast where with every episode, we're learning practical ways to let go of stress and struggles, grow our mental strength, and live a happier, healthier, more meaningful life. I'm your host, Melly O'Brien, co-founder of mindfulness.com and creator of the Deep Resilience Method. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. Let's dive in to today's episode. Hey folks, I hope you have had a great week of mental strength practice, or if you're new to the podcast, welcome, and I'm really glad that you're here. Today I'm going to talk about letting go of a grudge. Now, we have probably all had times where somebody has said or done something that we feel really hurt by. You know, maybe our partner makes an insensitive comment, a friend lets us down, or maybe someone lies to us or betrays our confidence in some really significant way. Now, whether or not that person meant to hurt us, the painful feelings that we experience after their actions or words are very, very real for us. So, you know, what often happens in life in these situations when somebody says or does something that hurts or angers us, what we tend to do is we tend to just continue carrying around the hurt inside of us. So there might have been the initial event that happens, but then we continue mulling over it and fanning the flames of resentment and anger within us and keeping the heartache alive. And we can kind of end up hardening our hearts into having a grudge with this person. Sometimes we might keep carrying a grudge with us for 2 months, 2 years, or even 20 years. Still walking around and thinking about that person and what they did and playing it over and over in the mind until we get more angry, thinking how wrong they are, how bad they are, and really holding more and more ill will towards them. As we travel through life, though, it's important to remember that difficulty, challenge, misunderstandings, and disagreements with other people, well, it's kind of an inevitable part of human life, and we ourselves are also not angels. We, of course, make mistakes. We are selfish sometimes. We let people down. Sometimes we blow our responsibilities. Sometimes we lie, or we let people down, or we hurt people from time to time. And sometimes, you know, it really wasn't our intention to do so, but other times we put our needs in front of other people's or did what we did when we weren't having one of our best days or finest moments, right? So we can't really avoid these things from happening, but what we can do is choose not to carry these grudges with us for the rest of our lives, right? Not to carry this mental baggage with us wherever we go. So we can begin to let go of grudges in 3 ways. The first way is to see the situation with understanding. We might, for example, try to understand why that person might have said or done the things that they did, right? Try to see things from their perspective. Think about what might have been going on for them. The other person is likely to be seeing things quite differently to you. What might they be perceiving about this situation? What needs and fears and concerns might they have? And really, be aware. Fixating on the wrongs and harms done by other people to you mentally really tends to ramp up your own stress and anger and inner turmoil and get you more and more deeply entrenched in your view of things. It makes it harder for you to see the other side. It makes it harder for you to remember the good qualities that the other person had and all the actually quite lovely things they've done for you. And it also can tend to skew your view of the situation so that you have trouble seeing your own part to play in the situation, right? So, and owning your part's really important. So perhaps considering if there's been any part that you've been playing in this situation, right? So that's it. Step 1, see the situation with understanding. The second thing you can do to let go of a grudge is to make space for imperfection. Make room for the other people in your life to be human, to have flaws, to make mistakes, to have bad days, to have moments when they're just not at their best. Of course, now what this doesn't mean is it doesn't mean excusing unacceptable behavior. It certainly doesn't mean putting up with things that are harmful for us or not holding people accountable. But it does mean simply recognizing that none of us are perfect and seeing if you can bring a little compassion and acceptance to that. All of us have our own unique conditioning from childhood and from our culture that plays out in sometimes unhelpful ways despite our best intentions. As I was saying before, we all have flaws and faults and times when we're selfish, times when we're out of step with our own integrity, times when we treat people as if they don't matter, act in ways where we don't care as much about the impact on others as we do about getting our own needs met. So we aren't perfect. They aren't perfect. Can you make room for that? Make room for other people to be imperfect, even as you protect your own boundaries and look out for your own needs. So, parents, partners, friends, and co-workers, they're not perfect, just like us. It's part of being human. And step 3 is to make a choice to forgive, to let go of the past and reclaim our own inner peace, right? Forgiveness is not at all meant to negate, deny, or minimize anything that happened. It's simply a choice to let go of carrying hostility and heaviness that we've been hanging on to. It allows us to kind of open the tight fist of anger and open up a bit of inner space to start to see through the eyes of understanding. In doing these 3 steps, we can see things more clearly and objectively. We can transform hostility into compassion and open up that inner space in which we might be able to understand the person and the situation and ourselves much better. So these 3 steps again. Step 1, see the situation with understanding. Step 2, make some space for imperfection. And step 3 is make the choice to forgive. So that's the invitation for this week of mental strength practice, is that if you find yourself feeling hurt or anger from the actions of another person, or you're aware that you've been holding on to something for some time, make letting go of the grudge your intention. Now, I know this isn't always easy, but see if you can let go of your hurt and animosity bit by bit, for as you forgive the other, you find peace in yourself. Thanks for being here. Thank you for practicing mental strength. I really love thinking about how we as a community are practicing mental strength together week by week and transforming, hatred and hurt into healing and hope, which is what we're doing this week. So I really thank you for your practice. I wish you all the best with it this week, and I look forward to being with you again on the next episode of Mentally Stronger. If you know someone who you think might benefit from listening to this episode, share it with them. Sharing it could really help them to feel better and improve the quality of their life. And if you found this episode helpful, remember to subscribe to the podcast so that you can receive more tips on growing your mental strength, and you can keep practicing along with us every week. If you are wanting more support in becoming mentally stronger, come over to my website and take a look at all the coaching and training options that I have there for you. And I also have a bunch of free resources, including a 5-day mental strength challenge that you can begin right away to kickstart your mental strength, improve your mental well-being, as well as your happiness and resilience. You can find all the links for this in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in. Take care and stay strong.